Lawyers are all up in arms over at City Hall, I understand. Well, lawyers don't get all up in arms by themselves. Somebody hires them to be up in arms. That's their job. They're the up in arms department, okay? And they keep their arms folded on their desk until somebody shoves a little packet of money across the desk, and then they go, whoa, okay, here we go. My client is 100% right, and the rest of you are horrible. Emails show that a counselor has also urged action against shirts that feature a logo of what's known now as Sankofa Square, among those who bother to use that name. Okay, I'm just saying. City Hall lawyers are up in arms over the sale of Yonge-Dundas Square T-shirt is the headline. What counselor are they talking about? Chris Moyes. Chris Moyes and Shelley Carroll really lost the plot on that whole debate when they went around accusing anyone who disagrees with them of racism. Shelley Carroll did it to my face. Doesn't have the character to apologize for it. Chris Moyes was no better. And I'm sure that Daniel Tate, founder of Integrity TO, is a real thorn to them, but he's a guest for me and you. So, Daniel, good morning.
Good morning, Jerry. It's an honor to be here.
Good to have you. What's this outrageous T-shirt you're wearing?
Yeah, it's a square that we've had for 20, 25 years. It used to be called Yonge-Dundas Square, but Chris Moyes and others at City Council decided that name was bad and offensive and racist and threw it into the trash, the dustbin of history.
But you dragged it out again, and I see a photo of you wearing it, and you're also selling it. And so the city, even though they threw it in the garbage, says they own it and you can't sell the shirt.
Yeah, that's right. It's the theater of the absurd. The city sent me a cease and desist letter demanding that I pull the shirt from my shop, notwithstanding the fact that all proceeds are being donated to the Daily Bread Food Bank, and they're claiming ownership. It's our trademark. We own the IP. And it's funny because they didn't mention any of this when Chow and Moyes and others decided to just remove the name, not do any public consultation, waste taxpayer money, and force this absurd new name, Sankofa Square, on the entire city.
Well, I'm looking at the shirt. I see a photo of you in the Toronto Sun, and you've got two lines representing the streets, Dundas along the top and Yonge along the side, your left side, and then there's a square there, which I guess represents the square itself. And I can't read what it says on the square. What does it say?
Well, on the T-shirt, it's Yonge-Dundas Square, and it's indicative of the geometry of that location. Yeah.
Okay, so the word I couldn't read is square. Well, that makes sense. Okay, who actually owns the trademark on that piece of artwork?
Well, according to documents, the city still owns the trademark and the logo. I would counter argue that since they decided that this name and logo is no longer important or worthy to be on the marquee there at Yonge and Dundas, and that they unceremoniously tossed it away after several years of deliberation, then the citizens can reclaim it. It becomes, in my opinion, back into the public domain or the commons. And if they don't want it, then the citizens will reclaim it. And that's exactly what I did.
In the end, the opinion of the city and your opinion, Daniel, will not matter if this becomes a legal thing. It'll be whatever the court decides. And I'm certainly no trademark lawyer, but I would certainly make the argument that not only did the city abandon it and has not used it for several years, but in fact said they hated it. So what are they trying to protect?
I'm exasperated. It's truly unbelievable. We have a city with so many problems. We have crime issues, synagogues and consulates are being shot up, infrastructure is in decline, needles in parks, and city hall councilors and lawyers are cracking down on a citizen selling T-shirts. That's the state of affairs that we're in right now.
Chris Moyes doesn't like you poking him in the eye. That's what this is about.
Well, Chris Moyes poked the rest of us in the eye when he decided one day that he has to rename a subway station and square that nobody had a problem with. And he was going to waste Section 37 and other public money to do so. And nobody asked for it. So Chris Moyes brought this upon himself, as far as I'm concerned.
I would remind people that when this debate was roiling and when they actually made the change, and I was speaking against it, as I always do, a guy called in and he identified himself as a black man, and he said to me, well, now my family and I have a safe place to go in Toronto. And I said to him, did you feel unsafe when you were there prior to this? And he said, well, I didn't know about it. Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's truly insane. A lot. This was all manufactured hysteria that didn't need to happen. It was a complete distraction from what government is supposed to do. The contract is we relinquish a big chunk of our money through property taxes, and the city is supposed to deliver high quality services and infrastructure. We didn't ask for them to take part in ideological agendas to start renaming things. So they violated that agreement, and here we are.
All right. This story, in case you've just joined us here, continuing on the Sankofa Square, Yonge-Dundas Square issue, is brought forth by Daniel Tate, my guest here, founder of Integrity TO, putting up T-shirts for sale with proceeds going to charity of the former logo, Yonge-Dundas Square. And I guess, according to this article in The Sun, the argument the city is going to make, and this is from Marnie Grona, interim general manager at Sankofa Square, said the municipality, quote, reserves its use for historical context when referring to the square's legacy, even if it has no plans to merchandise the logo itself.
Yeah, that's a pretty weird take, considering everybody involved with that square now had no interest whatsoever in the legacy or preservation of the name that lived for 20 years, Yonge-Dundas Square. In fact, they were so careless about it that when they changed the name, the signage earlier this year, or maybe it was late last year, they just threw away the Yonge-Dundas Square letters. I put in a letter to some folks at the city. What did you do with the old sign? You know, maybe we want to preserve it, put it in a museum or something. They threw it away. So I don't think they have a leg to stand on now when they say, oh, we own the legacy. You threw out the legacy. Sorry.
All right, but one argument that's being made by the city here may provide you with a solution. Councillors can and do use the logo, city's logo, in the products that they produce in their capacity as a councillor. Well, maybe you should just run for council.
Well, that's definitely an interesting curveball. We'll see what the future holds. I mean, all I can say right now is I'm a constituent of Councillor Chris Moyse. I live in Ward 13, and everybody I talk to in this ward is not happy with him. They say their quality of life has declined since he took office in 2022. So something's going to change, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Well, somebody just sent in because of everything that's going on. So we had to have an emergency change to the name of Square in order to make black people feel safe. But if Jews feel unsafe, too bad for them.
Yeah, again, this is what happens when elected officials focus on empty virtue signaling as opposed to concrete action and governance. We don't have a safe city right now, and that's because we don't have great leadership. So it all starts with leadership. And luckily, this is a pivotal year. It's an election year, October 26th. So mind your vote.
Daniel Tate is the founder of Integrity TO. What exactly is the purpose of your organization?
Yeah, so we are a civic advocacy group who wants to bring sensible, merit-based, common sense leadership back to this city. We haven't had that in a very long time. We've seen that our city leaders have really veered into very kind of far extreme ideological governance. They're getting into all sorts of agendas that take us away from, again, the brass tacks and basics of what a municipal government is supposed to do. So the idea of Integrity TO is we're a advocacy group. We're bringing citizens together to kind of stand up and say we're fed up with this style of leadership and we want change.
I've heard people say, and I'm just passing this along because it's not, this isn't coming from me. I wouldn't have the information to do it. That your organization, Integrity TO, Daniel Tate, is just kind of an under the radar support for Brad Bradford to become mayor.
That's a ridiculous assertion. We haven't declared support or endorsement of anybody in any of the races coming up, and it would be far too soon to do that anyways. It's just March, right? So we have several more months to understand the lay of the land, who's going to be running, and frankly, we want to see these campaigns happen. I want to read every candidate's policy platform, and if they are aligned with our idea of what, getting back to basics and what city governments are supposed to do, then we'll get behind those people. But right now it's only March, and it's way too soon to really endorse anyone, frankly.
Daniel Tate is the founder of Integrity TO. He's being sued by the city because he's marketing a T-shirt with the logo of Yonge-Dundas Square. Thanks very much, Daniel, for doing this.
Thanks a lot, Jerry. Take care.